want to talk for a few minutes about sovereignty, spiritual sovereignty. So I began to understand after my own spiritual awakening that that was kind of the whole point. It was teaching me the shedding of the false self, the fake identity, the character in the play, the programmed self, lots of names for it. And the discovery by losing everything, by hitting rock bottom, by falling into the void where you're just this empty container and thinking that life's over, that, wait a minute, there's something else here, of the real self, the God self, the divine self. And it required that shedding for that process to happen, that metamorphosis that I talked about in a previous video. So that's on a micro level what had happened. And so when the world kind of went crazy recently and has become more and more of a house of horrors and a circus show, the longer I stay on this planet, it became apparent that that is also the reason that it was teaching us all about spiritual sovereignty, about finding out who we really are, about the shedding of the fake self, and teaching us a very hard lesson, the lesson being that this is what happens when you give your power away to corrupt authorities. They'll gladly take it and just turn into tyrants, and next thing you'll be living in a totalitarian state. But that's what happens. We're being taught a very hard lesson, and it's for our own growth and our own good. I can clearly see that. I can clearly see that. We don't want to live like that. We don't like being slaves. We don't want to be servants. We don't want to be ruled over like peasants. We want to be who we really are, our true self, our sovereign self, our powerful self, our divine self. And when we fall back into the trap and keep wanting new overlords by voting them into power. I love Russell Brand. He's really come a long ways. I highly recommend him if you haven't watched him, because his point is not taking one side or the other, which is important. In fact, that's the whole point. It's realizing that these sides are pitted against each other and saying, we can do better than this. Well, he's right. We can do better than this. We don't have to pick one globalist over another globalist. And so by participating in that system, the little self, the ego's mind says, well, I don't have any other choice, so I got to vote this lesser evil. Vote for evil is vote for evil. And it's also a vote to enslave yourself. It's a vote to give away our sovereignty again, over and over and over until we get the lesson. However many times we have to be slammed, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to keep getting worse until there's no country left. I mean, that's kind of the point. It's not this side against that side. It's not this political party against that one. The enemy is you. You're the enemy. I am the enemy. Why? Because we have sovereignty, because we have freedom of choice, because we still have our hearts, and we have freedom, and that's really the enemy. That's why the United States is the biggest target, because it needs to be destroyed. So the grand overlords of this whole thing are not even human, and I'll talk about that in another video, but they certainly do have human puppets that help move the pieces on this chessboard into place. So we don't want to be pawns. We don't even want to be chess pieces. We want to be the player of the chess game, not the chess piece. It's important to understand that what the real target is. The real target is to destroy this country. The real target is to destroy freedom. The real target is to destroy our ability to speak freely, to express ourselves, to move around the world as we see fit, and to do what we like. That's the enemy. It's not some political puppet. In fact, they like those guys in place if they're serving their purpose and helping to polarize and divide people against each other. That certainly is the case in the U.S., isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, be careful of becoming the chess piece. Spiritual sovereignty is very important. We need to take our power back, understand who we are, understand there's a light of the Creator, a fractal of God within each one of us. And sometimes when what we view as the worst possible thing happening to us, so we view ourselves as a victim and somebody else as a perpetrator, is actually, upon reflection, hindsight's 2020, perhaps the best thing that ever happened to us. Why? Because it took us out of delusion. Because it took us out of the slave mentality. Because it freed us from a prison, a self-imposed prison, that we've been programmed into believing. So yeah, everything is a two-sided coin. And there's a light side and a shadow side to everything, including medicine, including science. Follow the science, remember? Including even politicians, including everybody. So, just be careful. I certainly, took me a long time to learn this. I certainly fell into the trap of, these are the people that need to be eliminated so that we can live in peace and freedom. You missed the point. I missed the point. Missed the point of the whole lesson. No, actually, those people are there for your growth. Those people are there for you to discover yourself, for you to discover your light, your gifts, which a lot of times we don't even know we have. I mean, I'll talk about fear in another video, but just real quickly, one of the reasons that I avoided making this channel for so long is I just made all kinds of excuses for myself of, nobody will watch it. And in all honesty, it was never a fear of the bad guys or other people or anything like that. It was just really just a fear of being seen. And also not being accepted for the message that I have to share. And, I came to learn that this message isn't for everybody. Just for those who choose it. And there may be some people out there that I can help from my pain, from my suffering, from my experience. And that's the reason I decided to finally do it. I've got a channel on Rumble and on YouTube. I'll be posting these videos on both, with links to the other channel on whichever one. But there are some things that are going to have to go exclusively on Rumble for obvious reasons. Censorship and all that. And just real quickly on censorship, freedom cannot survive without the free-flowing exchange of information and ideas. It never could, and it never would, which is the point. Which is why I was saying the United States is the target, the primary target. I mean, the whole world is really, but we're the primary target because we're the keepers of that light. It's in our DNA. It's in our heritage. Never be afraid. The divine always hides our greatest gifts behind our deepest fears. Walk into it. The universe favors the bold. So take care. See you in the next video.